it requires to become a nutritionist and a dietitian. And this was done in Machakos. During that particular time, we had a chance to get explanation of what KNDI law means.
We have been walking this distance for over 60 years today. I just want to say that I'm completely humbled, and I'm so happy that today we can sit as many as we are, and we are not even half of the numbers that there are now in this country. At that time when I talked about nutrition, I think it was out of this world. Nobody would understand. They thought I was creating a story for myself. I had gone off and I was not doing the cooking and food service from the kitchen that we were known to be doing. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for all that have participated, and I feel happy that you are recognizing my service today for this journey that we are now working together as a team. Mine is just to wish all of us the joy of being members of this team, and just invite you to feel that you own that law. It is yours. We thought about it, I think, when I was sitting alone, contemplating on what I should do, because things had gone very difficult. You come with a PhD and you are in this land and nobody recognizes what your PhD is about. When you talked about science of nutrition, people thought you were making a fool of them because they knew where you should be. Today, you can speak with one big voice and make all the impact that's needed to transform lots of things and improve the welfare of Kenyans. We know the core of our lives hangs on just that nutrient that you people command the knowledge of, and don't shy away. If I had shied away, I would not have written this law. It was not easy to put it in the parliament because nobody thought that we could put a law in parliament. It took us 3 years to debate it, on and off, but we never relented. So thank you for support.
It's my pleasure and honor to award you this in recognition of outstanding excellence that you have done over the years, and we are still with you. I'm sure when you talk of those years, most, in fact, all of those who are graduating today were never known, even would be born, but they are here, still listening to your very clear voice, very clear mind. We happy that you have done what you have done, and present you with a plaque and an envelope. Just like you did, I'm not going to say what is inside, but I know. Congratulations.
Can we clap for Prof? And can we have all the graduates take back their seat, because the last bit of this is, the final bit is coming up. Can all the graduates move to the tent, please? Come to the tent and get your seat. I would want to invite Mr. Agri Oriamat.
I feel privileged to stand before you this afternoon, representing public health officers and technicians across the country. I am here to represent my registrar, Dr. Kefa Ombacho, who would have wanted to be here but could not be here because of long-standing engagements. But I want to join the nutritionists and dietitians who are graduating today in a celebration of the journey that you've walked from the onset, and we've had the history. But I want to say that as public health officers and technicians, we are really proud of you, and we are saying that you are setting the agenda, because as you may be aware, Public Health Officers and Technicians was established in 2013, a few years after the Nutritionists and Dietitians Institute was established. And therefore, I want to say that without very many remarks, we appreciate you. We want to be associated with the nutritionists and dietitians, and we want to be part of the regulation, which is one of the health systems building blocks recognized world over. Thank you very much, the CEO and the entire team. Thank you.
I want to invite one of the training institutions Dr. Were to come and talk about nutrition because she understands it very well.
I want to start by congratulating the organizers of this event because this, to me, is the climax of all the activities that have been undertaken by KNDI since inception to date. Congratulations, CEO, Dr. Ojiambo, Professor Ojiambo, congratulations for the good work, the council members, and all those who have been associated and working together with KNDI. I also want to congratulate the graduates for the wonderful work you did. You have made us proud. I am so proud that I have trained some of you. We are indeed very, very happy. The training of nutritionists is not easy. I totally understand all the challenges that are experienced by all the trainers. So for you to have reached where you are, this is quite an achievement.
We have Principal of Thika School of Medical Science and Technology, Dr. Mr. Ndei.
I just want to take this opportunity to congratulate all of you and thank all of, the Kenya National Nutrition Dietitians Institute for organizing such an amazing event and making it a success. My name is Epaphras Ndei. I am in charge of Thika School of Medical and Health Sciences, and I can see my graduates are on this other side. And we are proud to be associated with KNDI, and you're doing a great job. Thank you, and God bless you.
I would request Dr. Soti to come and give his speech now, personal speech, and then invite our chief guest to give us a brief speech.
Mine is very short. First of all, to congratulate all the graduates for the work well done for the years that you have studied, and to usher you into the world of doing the best as the way you have already promised to do through the oath. Let me say that I had a number of things here, but one that reminds me maybe I need to talk about is when you talk about 6,500 registers, but only about 10,000 employed, and there was like, it was like, this is very, only 10%. This is very low. But then let us say that as we go forward, when we get out of college and go into the world, let us think big. Don't think employment. Some of us feel like they've been employed for too long. We should have left early. When you leave, that's when you realize that you should have left early. Let us find what we can do. This certificate you're given today is very important. There's a lot that you can do even if you're not employed. Just find out what is it that you can do. Two is the fact that this profession is very key. I think we can't emphasize more than this, that right now in Kenya, we are grappling with conditions that are out of what we have eaten or not eaten. In other words, we are talking about non-communicable diseases. And non-communicable diseases largely is due to lifestyle. Lifestyle is about what we do, what we eat. And I know the nutritionists and dietitians are in the thick of it if we were to make any improvement and change the way we are moving in terms of getting healthier. So we want to believe that you have a lot to do, and for that purpose, let us all be advocates. From the highest table here to the lowest person, let us be advocates of making sure that the policymakers, that the communities that we serve actually understand what they need to do to stem the surge in the non-communicable diseases, even as we deal with communicable. Otherwise, from the Minister of Health, I want to congratulate all of you and the KNDI for the work well done, and we hope to learn more from your side, much as we tell you that this is a regulatory authority, but we see you doing more than just regulatory authority actions. So thanks a lot and wish you well wherever you go. It's now my humble duty and pleasure to invite Professor Julia Ujambo to give her remarks. Professor, welcome.
Looking at the national and international affairs, it has been said, and we know it now, that in Africa, the statistics show that as high as 1 in every 5 people are chronically undernourished. That's the challenge that you are facing as you live here to go out there as nutritionists and dietitians. Indeed, FAO, as the Food and Agriculture Organization, Africa Regional Overview of Food Security and Nutrition, have just reported this last November this year, and they state that the prevalence of chronic undernourishment appears to have risen from 20.8% to 22.7% between 2015 and 2016, in 1 year alone, as recent as just yesterday. This report states that the gains that were made in the early part of this millennium have been eroded recently as a result of the combined drought and, of course, other adverse conflict conditions and other influences that you who are out practicing in the field do know about, that influence the internalization of food by our bodies. Finding a conclusive solution to the question of hunger and malnutrition is a complex one that has been an unresolved challenge on the global level for decades. Likewise, it is a challenge that we here in Kenya have faced over the years and are faced with today. Undernutrition, which includes micronutrient malnutrition that results in stunting or wasting, is the face of malnutrition that we commonly see on Kenyan television and other print media on a daily basis. In Kenya, we are witnessing an increasing level of overnutrition, so to speak, which can lead to the various conditions that you yourself now understand, those that Dr. Soto has just made mention of, the cardiovascular diseases and diabetes, obesity, and so forth. So both under and over nutrition have a devastating effects on the potential and the productivity of our country's youth and workforce, and ultimately on our economic success. That's what worries our leaders as you go out there. What can we do so that we can improve our economic growth? So recently, in his keynote address at an African Green Revolution Forum held in Abidjan in Nigeria, in September of this year, the former president of Tanzania, Jakaya Kikwete, had this to say, and I quote, "Our continent is the last frontier in humanity's struggle and quest for better living standards. Fortunately," he continues to say, "the people of Africa and their leaders have always been proactive in conceiving socio-economic policies and taking measures and actions to implement those policies." End of quote. This is good news that out there, people are listening to us and are becoming proactive. So we are on the right course. So the former president, that's Jakaya, continues to say, in his thinking, and which is our thinking now, that the importance of the role of leaders in our field of nutrition is very important, because they have to help us establish policies that will tackle the issue of undernutrition and overnutrition in Africa. I suggest therefore that Kenya is well placed in this regard, because for us, as recently as only 2-3 days ago, we had the president of this land, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, on Jamhuri Day talk, when he was unveiling his 4 pillars for economic development for his government, which is those 4 pillars that are going to guide his last term in office and leadership of this nation. And the 4 pillars are enumerated as follows. 1 was housing, 2, inexpensive health care, 3, food security and manufacturing, including therefore nutrition, and lastly, support for the development of agro-industries. In all these, you can see that nutrition for Kenyan people is well catered for, because these are the structures that form the basis of our profession. Over and above that, we have on occasions, and some of you have met the First Lady, Her Excellency Margaret Kenyatta, in the field advocating for the interest in nutrition at maternal and child welfare clinics in this land, meaning that our leadership has a ear for us, and that we can, when we talk out there, be listened to as you live here. Just want us to emphasize the point that you have a lot of support where you are going. Be open, be free to discuss, be free to apply your knowledge, and be free to advise where knowledge is needed, and you'll find a lot of support because there's need for you to be there. These are the things that actually gave us this capacity and interest to secure the establishment of the Kenya Nutrition and Dietetics Institute, and to bring in being the formal structures to nutrition and dietetics profession that we are seeing today. KNDI, as you have heard, was established to elevate conversation about nutrition and health to a national policy level. And that's where we are today. You are going out to work in the nation. You are no longer in the school. And as you go out in the field at a national level, we want you to take out with you a full mandate embodied in the law of KNDI. It's for you to take it as your gospel. It is your strength. You make reference to it, and out of it interpret your capacity using the knowledge that you have acquired. In that lies the health ingredient to our people's welfare, well-being in this land. So under KNDI, we have established a community of practice with the standards for nutrition and dietetics, which brings the profession in Kenya in line with the global best practice. That faculty you are seeing here, the council you are seeing here, works very closely also with similar councils, similar practices everywhere. So you are going out knowing they are fully qualified to practice because you have been given tools that are equivalent to anything else elsewhere in this world. KNDI now has a growing body of outstanding professionals who will lead the change that we all want to see in our society and you are that force. You add to that strength that we have here. Today we acknowledge you, professionals, who are passing out of this congregation today into our country as leaders who are going to translate critical national policies into action. Please go out determined to do that because you have been prepared to do so. You live here licensed to practice as nutritionists and dietitians. But more importantly, you live here as a voice for the future of Kenya. You may choose to channel your voices to address issues ranging from early life nutrition, or perhaps the gender question and socioeconomic factors that affect nutrition. Alternately, the concerns around our agricultural inputs, food production, marketing, and its distribution. You may work in private practice or in industry or in the hospital wards, in whichever sphere that you choose to apply your skills and knowledge. Remember to adhere to the KNDI Code of Ethics. We are starting, as we have said, a body of a profession that must adhere to very high standards, because the area in which we are operating, unless we keep to our ethics and practice what we have taken as an oath today, we cannot be relevant and we cannot be trusted. So make sure that you adhere to the code of ethics. Finally, it is essential that you address the opportunity of technology and the question of how our profession can best embrace and make good use of research and technology to improve our professional knowledge base. Kenya has gained global recognition for innovation, in particular around the use of mobile phone. Please use that knowledge to ensure that nutrition and dietetics can also be moved closer to our people using technology. For me, to you newly licensed nutritionists and dietitians, I wish you every success in your endeavors, and may God bless you.
We have to work side by in the frontline therapeutic process as a team player, not as a spectator. And that means you build your vocabulary equivalent to what the medical doctor do. And that is why we teach you nutrition pharmacology. Is that okay? So walk side by side in that protocol, in the ward rounds, not behind. So don't hide. As we close, as the procession leaves, we request you to remain seated. The band will lead